So this is episode 4, and we're going to be talking. We were supposed to talk about soil. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but we're going to talk about an update of the situation that I'm in and where it's going. This gentleman, Professor Don Flatten of the Soil Department, University of Manitoba, he did produce a report in December 2019 and read through the report. A lot of it I don't really understand, but the only really issue that I really wanted to point out on this one is that he's here on the Manitoba Pork website with his name and his picture, and then the claims that are done by the Manitoba Pork Department include this right under his name and his picture. It says it was originally estimated that only 1.5% of the phosphorus comes from fields that have been fertilized with organic pig manure, and now it's about 1%. 1%, there's what they're saying. I don't think that that's an accurate representation, and I have sent a letter to Dr. Flatten asking him if he agrees that this should be posted like that. All right, so the other thing, I have agreed to participate in the study of phosphorus myself as citizen scientist. So I'll be doing the monitoring for the Birch River readings, and that way I should learn a little more. So on to the next part. Dealing with the neighbors. So I didn't, because of the pandemic and being in Code Red, I didn't go and talk to my neighbors, but I did try to talk to the neighbor who owns the pig barn. Wasn't able to talk to the other neighbors that I mentioned that I think have a sustainable organization. So, and I did get the last part of the electrical done on my shop, and I talked to the electrical guy who, in the past, he's owned pigs too. So he's a good source of information, and learned a little bit about what's probably happening in the barn, but I'm still not allowed. Like, I talked to the RM, and I'm not allowed to know who the owner of the barn is. They can't tell me. I offered to give him my information, my email, my phone number, and everything. So that's been given to the owner of the barn, and we're still waiting for them to contact me. It's been quite a few weeks. So what I want to do with the owner is offer to help with a shelter belt, because if I go show you here, this is my house, right? And that's the barn. So there's less than 200 meters between the two, and if you look at this straight line here, if you notice there's an indent, well, this should really all be trees, because of the fact that this is below standards, this location. You've got a few things that are below standards. It's too close to a house, so it's below 200 meter limit. The manure barn itself is 230 meters, and it should be 400. And then also the distance between the barn and the river is too short at only 38 meters, and it should be at least 50 meters, maybe 100 meters. So I did also the water tests. I was interested in water tests because some of the issues involved sometimes is water.
Management specialist with AgriGold Consulting. We work with Manitoba pork producers testing hundreds of monitoring wells around manure storage systems. It is my job to ensure that our producers receive accurate reporting in the protection of our groundwater.
So I asked the department that deals with the groundwater if I could see the water tests, like the advertising is mentioned. And the reply was that groundwater monitoring is not typically a requirement of this type of facility, and the provincially mandated setback is only 100 meters. So no groundwater testing around my area. So I'll have to do that myself, and it's usually done in the springtime. So again, and I thought about maybe sending, it's been 2 years since my last letter to the Farm Practices Board regarding odor. and I thought about sending him another letter, but I'll wait because I am getting good help from manure management, manure and mortalities management department. They're going to actually ask the owner of the barn if he could please help with planting more trees. Isn't that nice? Well, just to give you an idea how complex it is, this is a little diagram here. So, like when you're trying to find out what department to talk to in the Manitoba government. So I will say that because of all the time involved and frustration involved in trying to get some answers and some results, I have kind of become an activist against the industry. So working with Hog Watch Manitoba, and also very interested in any agricultural sovereignty movements that there might be out there, because I think that that is the future, as I said in my earlier videos. And we see that there is something called direct farm, and it is or organic farmers, but very low participation rate if you look again. So I need to learn more about that. Again, the pandemic restrictions make it difficult. It would be nice to know, why this isn't moving forward and what legislation we could see to help. This group, Food Matters, deals more with is food available, especially for people in northern Manitoba, but I think they're interested in the whole idea of food sovereignty. So that's something that I hope to learn more about soon. I'll also tell you that I was interested that there's apparently about 20 abattoirs in Manitoba. So there's the main ones owned by High Life and Maple Leaf, but there's also a number of smaller ones. And I really wanted to talk to them about how their business works and, how agricultural sovereignty idea in terms of getting livestock slaughtered on a small scale for more organic farming. So I wasn't able to really talk to anyone. I did try to talk to Country Meat and Sausage in Steinbach, because they're sort of a small medium operation, and they wouldn't reply to me, they wouldn't talk to me. So that's where I am right now. Want to give you more updates in terms of the complaint and whether I actually get a improved shelter belt. And we're also interested that there's some programs available for manure cover of the lagoon, and as mentioned before, there's also one for scrubbers on the fans. So we'll see if maybe there's any possibility of getting any of these things done. That's where we are right now. We're kind of on hold because of the pandemic.